Hey everybody, it's Shane Presley here. I know you're expecting Jeremy, but I wanted to hijack the show and tell you about a big old party I'm throwing at Off Broadway July 23rd with the Manis Brothers, Old Capitol Square Dance Club, Samantha Clemens, Ben Diesel, and Egan's Rats, celebrating 8 years and 1,000 episodes of Rock Paper Podcast. And you can find tickets right now at offbroadwaystl.com. And here comes the bomb.
Yeah, and episode 266.
Episode 266.
Now.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll work on it. I guess after all that fiddle farting around, I can say we are back. And I gotta tell you what, other than the couple of little bitching stories, or not even bitching stories, but complaining stories I told you, we just jumped right into this episode. And I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been since the last game of softball season, I believe.
I think so.
Because you've been busy with, not your podcast, like I blamed you on the show, but kid stuff.
Yeah, because last week was the first episode we did in a month, so...
So I really couldn't blame you for that one then.
No.
Well, I'll tell you this. You, we're going to jump into it a little bit. You brought some Four Hands Mexican lager over.
Yes, Vigilante.
Vigilante, yeah. And what is it? What's it say? It's IB or ABV on it.
5%.
And it's good with tacos and fiestas, which is, I guess, right in, I don't know, is that racist? Can you do that on cans?
I
mean,
think
it's
so.
a Mexican lager,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Can white people make Mexican beer? I mean,
that cultural
we're not
appropriation?
there yet, right?
Yeah.
We haven't crossed over to the woke has not affected the craft beer scene yet.
No, not yet.
But speaking of the beer scene, one of the reasons I declined that is so this past weekend, which I'm going to ask you what you guys did, but obviously it was the birth of our country, the birthday. It was 4th of July. It was also the former Flop's 45th birthday. I guess I just told everybody she's 45, but that's okay.
You can just bleep that out.
Yeah, it was her beep, 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 beep birthday. That's a really long number, Jeremy. So we essentially drank a little bit. So we drank last Wednesday night for our volleyball. Then I can't remember why, but we drank Thursday night. Then Friday was her actual birthday, and we had volleyball. We also stopped at Shamrocks. She got some birthday shots at Shamrocks. We got some birthday shots at her, and she hates shots at volleyball. And then Saturday was we did a 16-mile bike ride in the pouring rain. We were just muddy as all get out, but it was such a blast. There's some fun stories that come with it, like Heather had to protect Missy from a big black snake because Missy's deathly afraid of snakes. A squirrel tried to attack Doug. But I was not a part of any of those stories because I got tired of waiting on them, and I just rode up ahead of them.
Which is funny, because I had two black snake instances this weekend, too, that we can get to. One out there, actually.
Oh, well, then we'll come back to yours, put a pin in yours, and when I'm done, I want to hear about your black snake. So then we start drinking at the brewery, and, we have as many beers as one does at the brewery, a lot.
Yeah.
That local 636, by the way, is a fantastic beer.
Oh, I love
they
that
make.
beer.
Yeah, I bought a 4-pack of it and brought it home. So then we come back home. We take a shower. We go to Shamrocks because we just needed somewhere to go. When they're having like some kind of party at like 7 o'clock, so we just have to eat, have a few beers. Our friends Jason and Kelly come out with us, and then my buddy Moses and his girlfriend. But then they leave, and me and Jason, Kelly, and Missy go to Gettemeyer's, and where we have 2 or 3 more beers and another shot, and then we finally call it a night. And Jason Kelly wanted to say, "Hey, you guys want to come over?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, dude.
Yeah.
I want to go home." So we get home. We wake up Sunday late. We do nothing Sunday. I take Hayden and Kaylin to Vintage Vinyl, where Kaylin bought a couple of Kanye West albums, or Hayden.
Nice.
Hayden did.
Okay.
Kaylin just got her some whatever music she's into, but she always gets something. We do no drinking Sunday, but then Monday we wake up, get working, get outside, and start drinking. Me and Missy start drinking at 2 o'clock outside.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but it's the only time that I think, who was it, Smash Mouth? You know, when they say you might as well be walking on the sun.
Yeah.
These last 2 fucking days, we are walking on the sun
yeah.
outside, especially today. But yesterday was hot, too. So I put up our tent. I put up a table. I put up all our chairs. Me and Missy sat out there, start drinking at 2. Our neighbors come home and leave. They're like, dude, we're in on hanging out with you, but not till later.
Yeah.
And no one else comes out till like 6 o'clock. And the Krugers even come over to shoot fireworks off in the cul-de-sac. And we placed a lot of can jam. But needless to say, we went hard there. So what I'm trying to tell you is at 44 for myself, because I married an older woman, I think after 5 out of 6 days of good, solid, hard drinking, I think I'm going to take a few days off.
Oh, yeah.
It is. I feel miserable. Like, I drink nothing today, and I feel miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like ass.
Yeah.
Is that maturing, or is it just getting fucking old?
Getting old.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Because I'm not mature.
Yeah.
I still love a good dick and fart joke, and we'll talk about that in the Throw It to Missy segment.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah. So what did you guys, other than battling the black snakes, when I want to hear about, what was your 4th out like? What'd you guys do?
So on Saturday, I took Kaylee to go play golf. And
Like real golf?
Yeah, real golf.
How'd that go?
Oh, not too bad.
Has she played before?
Yeah, a little
Okay.
bit, and she's done lessons.
Oh, okay.
but
I think you've told me that.
Yeah, she'll get out there and she'll just hit a few and then pick it up and putt, just to not hold up anybody. But we get on the first tee box and the guy in front of us yells back, "Hey, there's a giant snake here. And watch out when you come down."
And where were you at again? I'm sorry.
St. Anne.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then so I'm sitting there watching it, and it comes right up to the tee box next to us, and I'm like, "Do I tell Kaylee?" I did.
You
and-
attack it with your
Yeah.
fucking
No.
snake charm, or your a golf club's essentially a glorified snake hook. You know.
Yeah.
You scoop that fucker and fling it.
No, I'm with Missy on snakes, so.
You're not battling the
No,
snake.
no. So, but it went past the tee box, and we were fine after that. But we ended up getting rained on there. So,
Oh yeah, and that was Saturday.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest with you too. I've done a lot of run. We did 16 miles, almost dead on 16 miles. We dropped in at Defiance.
yeah,
Good News.
Yeah.
Rode all the way to Augusta, Good News, and back. And it was like Heather's farthest ride she'd ever done. Moses has never rode the Katy. And then my buddy Will, who went with us, he enjoyed. I mean, yeah, we got dirty, but the rain made it the easiest 16-mile ride ever.
Yeah.
And it's not a hard ride anyway. In fact, it wasn't for me. And, you know, the only reason I felt good about leaving Missy behind was, one, there was Heather and Doug there to ride with her.
yeah,
And two, I knew people were going to be at the brewery because we started a little later than we wanted.
Yeah.
So I had to get back. But yeah, it was pouring rain Saturday.
it was.
Yeah.
We got 7 holes in when it started, and I know my daughter, and I'm like, "You just want to head back to the car?" And she's like, "Yeah."
So you said 2 snake incidents.
Yes.
What was the other one?
Well, so we went riding yesterday on 4th of July. We
Yeah.
went early.
Oh, yeah, because it got hot.
Yeah. Kaylee is not a bike rider. She hasn't been on a bike in a couple years.
Okay.
And so we finally get her going, but like downhill, she wants to go really slow. She puts her feet down. So we get to just a little hill.
Where'd you ride at?
We started at, it was Katy. We did one of the drop-ins, rode to Good News, and then came back.
Where, you drop in, like, in Weldon Spring or down in closer? Or?
Yeah, the Wellness Spring drop-in.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, I just say, there's not a lot of downhill on it,
No,
though.
no, there's just one little spot where it's like a road.
Yeah, yeah, it goes up and over, yeah.
So
I try to jump that.
Yeah. So I'm at the back of everybody because I know Kaylee's going to go slow and Aaron and the other 2 want to go fast. So Kaylee goes down this hill really slowly, and she's about halfway down, and the snake comes up on the path behind her and goes all the way across. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything this time because she will flip out and she will want to turn around and not do anymore. And it just went across the path, and I'm just going to sit there and I'm
Might have
like,
been the same snake.
could have been. But I was like, I'm going to wait for him to get off before I go. I go, Kaylee, just keep going. I'll catch up. And so, yeah. But we did that early. I think we got on about 9:30. And by the time we were done at noonish, it was miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, what did you... there was
Yeah. Well, and
way hotter than it needs to be right now.
yeah. But Sunday night we did fireworks. And I was around a lot of the smoke and not even thinking about it. So the next day, by the end of the ride, I couldn't breathe. My asthma just kicked my ass. So everyone's up ahead of me, and I'm like,
Oh, boy.
and so we get to the car. I pull out my inhaler. Aaron's like, "You're out of shape." I'm like, "No, I'm not out of shape. I don't know what it was." So last night we go to my nephew's, or my sister-in-law's, to watch fireworks because her son gets hundreds of dollars of fireworks and sets off a show.
I got $150 and I had nothing.
Oh, him and his friends each spend a couple $100s.
Yeah, but I mean, that was my, fuck Joe Biden
Yeah.
conversation here, which I'm only kidding about that, but you know how everybody says right now inflation's all his fault.
Yeah.
I spent $20 more than last year, and I got probably 20% less fireworks.
Yeah.
And trust me, these guys buy these things so far in advance when they get them. And the cost of fireworks are so cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, the markup is so that they're raising the price. It's not like their price. They went from making they just want to keep their 250% profit margins.
Yeah.
What they want to do instead of dropping it to 200 and people buying more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys had a lot.
Yeah.
But when you say a couple $100, it could be like three
Yeah.
big things, and that's it.
No, they shot him for an hour and a half.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time.
But all the smoke was coming in, and all of a sudden my chest is feeling tight. I'm like, that's why I couldn't breathe this morning. All the smoke I inhaled from fireworks.
Oh yeah. We have neighbors around us that shoot a lot off that you can obviously see from my cul-de-sac because we're shooting ours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I took Hayden to get some Chipotle for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we saw one of the houses where it's a lot. I'm telling you, you drove
I
by.
drove by it.
Does that not look like $3,000 worth of fireworks?
I'm like, somebody moved down to that house with all those trash
Yeah, that
bags,
was
and then you
all
get close
fireworks.
and see fireworks
And
sticking out
trust
of
me,
them.
that was multiple hours of shooting, and there wasn't like you hear a boom,
Yeah.
and see the sparkle, and then you wait for another one. It was boom, but it was a fireworks show.
Yeah.
It was a fireworks show.
Yeah.
It was insane. I mean, I would love to have that many fireworks, but I will never ever spend that much money. I mean, what? I say this knowing we are a drinking podcast and we booze it up quite a bit, but what? Sans that, because that gives us good stories for the
Yeah.
podcast. But other than that, can you spend more on and get the less long-term return? I mean, it's the most expendable amount of money you could spend on almost anything is fireworks.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
Yep.
And you get nothing out. You can't store them.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to anyway.
But it's for one day a year.
Yeah,
Like,
well, unless your favorite Super Bowl team or something wins, because
Yeah.
then people do that also.
So when we were over watching them last night, up the street from them, other people were shooting them off too. We parked our car in between the two of them, and all of a sudden we see lights shining all over these houses right down their street because the street kind of curves around, and we look over and one of their mortars fell over.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it's shooting at the houses and right where our car's at.
Oh no.
One of them shot and hit a neighbor's front door and blew up right in the front door. Didn't catch on fire
Holy
by
cow.
some miracle, but
We the closest we came to that was Hayden and Kaylin both picked out a couple of like big
Yeah.
Roman candles, and they were called Venom, and they were probably about 3 feet long.
Yeah.
And she was holding it up, and we thought it was a Roman candle. Well, it shoots up, and it a pretty good sized explosion.
Yeah.
But Roman candles, they go about 20 feet away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So she shot it, and the angle she was holding it at, it went
Yeah.
right over into our neighbor's backyard where it pooped. I was like, holy crap, hold
Yeah.
it up in the air.
Yeah.
So, no death, no fires, nothing. So, but yeah, so I mean, do you guys like, when you do your 4th, do you guys like, are you drinking? Is it just more family?
it's family, but I was drinking.
Okay, because we get hammered.
Yeah. I didn't
which
get-
is perfect for blowing. If there's something that makes more sense about it, being in our country, drinking a lot, wasting money, and blowing shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you do.
My nephew's like, you want to come help me light these? I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I'll be right there. Oh, you're gonna have to hold that flame or that wick still. I'm
Yeah.
not moving.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. But that's funny though. So, well, we like I said, I guess the podcast didn't say anything, but we will belated happy birthday to the Flop, even though we don't love her anymore because she stopped coming on the podcast. And that was pretty much our 4th of July. But in addition to all that, big things are happening in pop culture of late. Mm-hmm. The 2 things I want to talk about, and I don't believe you're caught up unless you're going to tell me otherwise. I do want to hit on Stranger Things.
I finished, so I never went back and watched season 3 when it came out.
Okay.
So I watched season 3. I'm on the first episode of season 4, but I put it on hold because I started Umbrella Academy and then put that on hold for Shoresy.
Okay. Oh, I got to watch Shoresy. I haven't watched it yet, so we'll get to that in a little bit too. But I do want to... so we'll talk about 2 strange things. I want to talk about Stranger Things, and then I want to talk about Doctor Strange Revisited, because I watched it again.
Yeah.
But I will say... there's a lot of I mean, it's funny because I see so many reviews saying this is the best season by far. They stuck the landing. And then I'll see people complaining about the final episode.
Yeah. I've seen headlines of an unnecessary death.
No, I mean,
No.
there's so many characters.
Yeah.
Any character is quote unquote unnecessary, and people had to die.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the death hurt. It hurt me.
Yeah.
But also, there happened to be maybe the most metal scene in the history of TV.
Okay.
And which is Eddie playing the guitar, and it's Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking cool. And he's
Nice.
in the he's in the Upside Down, so it's
Yeah.
almost like a metal god thrashing in hell. It's
Yeah.
like it's very 80s metal, and they encapsulated the entire metal genre from the 80s in that one scene, and it's so great.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It may be there's a lot of people saying it's the best scene in TV history, and that's not my hyperbole. I've
Yeah.
seen a bunch of articles saying that, and it's pretty fucking good. But there was some lows, not lows like in bad writing, because I think the writing's tremendous. But I got to tell you, and I'll give this review, and then I'll kind of leave it at that and let people debate me if they want. But this is my favorite season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And I know the only criticism that I'll listen to for people is that the final episode's too long. But here's the thing I will say to those people. Just break it up into 2 parts.
Yeah.
And then you just got an extra episode.
Those might be the same people that watched all 4 hours of Justice League.
Yeah, because if you break it up at there is a specific spot where you could pause it and watch it the next day. Then instead of a 9-episode season, you have a 10-episode season.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? That was dumb. The only other criticism I had, or not I had, but I've heard that I almost kind of see is a lot of people think that the Hopper story felt really unnecessary. And I'll say this: it's not to the extent of the other power people in the van episode,
Yeah.
which they've just shit all over and they're not coming back to it at any point.
Yeah.
But it is pretty close to that in a sense. It's still entertaining, but yeah, the things they did, I don't know if they really mattered to the big story.
Yeah.
But all it does is it gets Hopper back to us by the end of it, and that is a spoiler, but you knew it's
Yeah.
happening. And so next we have to have them all together for the 5th and final season.
Oh,
so
yeah.
who cares? And it's still a good story especially with whatever, I can't remember his name, the comedian, who speaks Russian. In it.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
The conspiracy theorist.
yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he's even better in this season. So people need to get over it. But other than that, that's it. So that's it for Stranger Things. But I did want to talk to you. Have you watched Doctor Strange since it's been on Disney Plus?
I haven't.
I did.
Yeah.
I probably will never watch it again.
Okay.
I watched it in the movie. I told you I liked it more after I thought about it.
Yeah.
I watched it now knowing everything about it. I was not surprised at anything, and I think I'm back to liking it less. Now
Yeah.
it goes to like a 3.
I'm not surprised by that because before I saw it in the theaters, I rewatched WandaVision, and that
Yeah.
just didn't hold up
When
for
you
me
know
either.
the surprises, it's not as
Yeah.
good.
The sitcom episodes seemed so revolutionary when they were on, but then when you know what's happening, and like, I kind of want to just go up to the sword stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I also read another article today, and that's the reason I brought up the Doctor Strange. I think, and we're going to talk about Miss Marvel, I assume, in a little bit, or at least up until now. Me and Bender did, but we didn't really touch on it too far. But I think I read an article today that said, Miss Marvel's fine, but are we starting to suffer from too much Disney Plus Marvel?
Yeah.
And we might be. I feel like the lull they've taken in the movies was good
Yeah.
because they come out swinging with Spider-Man, which was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But I do think that, and I get why they're, I almost like it better when they were doing a Marvel and a Star Wars and a Marvel and a Star
Yeah.
Wars. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. But it's all we've actually, there was we talked about it on this time last year. Like, there's going to be a Marvel show from here till next year called, and I think I'm finally starting to feel like it. Like, oh, it's more Marvel stuff. And unfortunately, since we're pop culture degenerates, we got to consume it. You know,
I'm a completist. I have to watch it all.
Yeah, but and that's not. And I guess we can jump right into Miss Marvel too. From that, I don't know. There's anything bad about me. In fact, Miss Marvel's the girl that is delightful. I think she's a great young actress, and I think she's nailing it. I think she's believable as a reluctant hero, or at least a bumbling hero for now.
Yeah.
And I like what it's doing culturally for it. It's not forcing it on us. It's just this is the way the character happens to be what the character is. So you have to touch on her heritage and stuff. I just I don't know how, like, I feel like I know this is going to tie into Marvels.
Yeah.
And I'm sure by the end of the show it's really going to do it for us. But I'm almost getting back to where, like, I'm almost like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I like Miss Marvel as a character in the comics
And they've changed her a
a
lot.
lot. And let's tie her to a 90s group that no one knows about in the comics. I just thought that was a weird choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, I've enjoyed the show. I enjoy hearing people say, "Oh, everyone gets to experience my culture with this." It's like with Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I like that aspect.
Again,
of
also
it.
didn't feel forced because Black Panther, just like Kamala Khan, there was nothing that had to be changed for that. Again, and we've talked about this on the show. I don't like when they change stuff for the sake of changing stuff.
Yeah.
This character was written and created intentionally.
Yeah.
To be, what she is.
Yeah.
Which is she's Indian.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to mess.
Pakistani.
Pakistani. That's right. Pakistani. Yeah. But God, I'm trying to give him a compliment, and I don't want to get it wrong. She's Pakistani, and Black Panther was written to be from a pseudo-African country in Wakanda. Yeah. And so that's not forcing it. It's good storytelling.
It is.
And they've done that with Kamala Khan.
Yeah. I think it's a fun show. Is it the best they've done? No. But
It's still
I'm enjoying
Hawkeye,
it.
I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, even Moon Knight,
Moon Knight was good.
it was good, but it wasn't at that level like you expect with Marvel.
They rushed the ending.
Yeah.
I think. Episode
Well,
6.
I thought the last 2 episodes were the best episodes of the series.
I thought it was good. I thought they made some really great decisions.
Yeah.
And I thought the penultimate episode, which was 5,
Yeah.
that was an amazing episode.
It was.
6 is not bad per se. I just feel like that last 10 minutes of it felt like we just squeezed a whole lot in, creating a new character, giving his other identity and stuff. And I'm not saying it's bad per se, but I feel like we could have had one more episode.
Yeah.
But I love the creativity of how they showed the fight. The final fight that we don't see.
Yeah.
That's a great choice.
And that's, I think, a show you can go back and rewatch because you're like, was that Jake Lockley that popped in there that we don't know about? Because that's what they kind of implied.
Oh, yeah, the much more brutal of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, again, both of the shows are good. I feel like, and it's funnier, too, because I feel like with Kamala's, with Miss Marvel, I've used the term, what's the point? And it's probably going to have longer lasting impact on the MCU than Moon Knight did because he's not doing another show. Now, that's not to say he won't show up in the movies. Well, I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
Well, they did change it, too. On the final day, it said they released something that said series finale and then changed it to season finale.
Yeah.
So,
well, now he has came out and said, but that said, he still has the clause to do it. Now, Kamala, though, is going to be in a big sequel.
yes, she is.
And she's going to be a big character in that sequel. Here's my question to you, going back to Doctor Strange. Are we going to see America Chavez in anything anytime soon, other than a maybe at some point her own series? And that's a big maybe.
She was part of the Young Avengers at one point, so we could possibly see her there
If we're still going for that.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. I know it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced that's where we're going because I just feel like at some point, because of the amount of characters we're bringing and because of the secondary and tertiary characters in the comic, at some point Feige is going to see some diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Not because they're doing bad stories, but because we're not doing characters that people know.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, we better get back up to some really famous characters and bring them back in and do it.
I think they have an opportunity to kind of mix them for now, especially with the Fantastic Four and X-Men being back.
That's going to be the big one.
Yeah.
X-Men is even going to be bigger than Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
X-Men can be their next big franchise. We have a mutant renaissance, but they got to do it right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I do love, and Bender brought it up on the episode, and I've seen more steam. I do love Taron Egerton as Wolverine.
yeah.
I mean, there's no way around it. That guy is Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. They can make him look older. The size is perfect, and we know he's got the physical chops for it.
And his action movies have been great. I love the Kingsman movies.
Oh, they're great. Even when they're cheesy bad. Like the second one wasn't amazing, but it was still great.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was awesome.
Yeah, that church fight.
Yeah, and the second one was like, okay, we're going to lean a little hard into the campy.
Yeah.
But he's still great in it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
You kind of have to lean into the campy, though, if you have Elton John there.
100%. And if you're essentially telling a farcical look at James Bond.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's what I mean, there's some other things I've watched we can talk to at the end, but if you have any big topics, let's jump see what you have.
I didn't really bring anything.
Well, then let's just throw it to Missy and go quick hitting on some stuff.
All right.
You talked about Shoresy.
Shoresy's great.
Is it great?
It is.
I expect it to be, but I don't. And the only reason I haven't started is not. It's not that I've been hesitant, but I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to jump into the Letterkenny again with so much stuff out.
Yeah.
But I feel like once I started, I can't get out of it.
I knocked out 5 episodes today.
How many is it?
I don't know for sure.
Are they releasing them slow?
I don't know.
Okay. You just haven't looked.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. I instantly go to episode guide to see how many are.
I usually do, but my work situation has changed, and I'm not in front of the 3 TVs anymore.
Oh no! You back in the office?
No, I moved upstairs.
Oh.
I got some new equipment set up, so I have to put a desk someplace.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I've been watching on my phone.
You
while
have to
working.
actually focus on work.
Kind of.
Or at least extra stuff at work.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I was watching on my phone today, and it's hilarious.
And what does he look like? I mean, we know who it is.
It's full on Jared Kelso.
Yeah, but I mean, did they change him enough to where you buy into that he's?
No.
Oh no, they don't care.
It's yeah. He's got a tooth blacked out.
That's it.
Yeah. But I think the only thing it suffers from, it doesn't have the supporting characters.
Oh yeah, the whole town of Letterkenny's great, and I know they're trying. I mean, I'm guessing their school of thought is the hockey team to be the supporting characters.
Yeah, and they're all right. There's good banter, but it's just not the same. But I'm loving it.
And so when I say that they're, it's one dimensional, keep in mind that every character in Letterkenny is pretty one dimensional.
Yeah.
But each dimension is drastically different than the other. So you have when you got a team full of hockey players, you got to get really creative with the dialogue and stuff to try to make it work. And his writing's amazing. So.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I recommend it.
Who knew though?
Yeah.
That Letterkenny would have a spin-off show.
Yeah, I know. I mean, It's Always Sunny hasn't had one.
No, and it's went on longer and whatnot.
Yeah. But I'd give it 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Letterkenny's a solid 5.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's good enough for me. I can't watch it tomorrow or Thursday, but I might. I've got some work from home on Friday, and I'll probably give it a go. Yeah, I like that. That's good. I watched Man from Toronto, which is the Woody Harrelson, Kevin Hart on Netflix.
Okay, yeah.
It's what you expect out of a Kevin Hart buddy movie, and it is pretty good. I will say, going back to kind of what I was talking about with like Moon Knight, I will say the ending isn't like, it's way less desirable than Moon Knight's ending. In fact, it finishes fine, but then there's a couple of like what you would consider prologue stuff that's just over the top. This is just silly for no reason.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say what it is. I don't want to ruin it because there's some funny moments in it. Here's what's great about it. Woody Harrelson is in it. And as a hitman / interrogator, he's great. Yeah, and he's worth it alone.
The previews of him was just awesome.
Yeah, he's worth it alone. And you don't get anything more deep than the previews, but it's a whole movie of what he does in the previews. So, yeah, it's a best of 3.5, might be 3.25. But if you're not doing anything and you have nothing to watch, it's worth putting on.
Might throw that on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's it is a little adult, but it's not that big.
Yeah.
But Kevin Hart plays kind of an amalgam of every Kevin Hart character that he's ever played. He's always incompetent. He's always kind of bumbling, and he always has to prove himself to his girl.
Yeah.
And this one, though, he already has a girl. It's his wife. So, but still, it's it's okay. It's worth watching. But what do you got? What else you got?
All right, so I watched Barry season 3.
Oh, I did too.
What a dark season.
It's as depressing as it gets.
It was, but it was still really good writing.
It is super good writing. I think I talked about it on this show too. I find it funny that two shows, dark shows, really pick on Missouri.
Yeah.
Ozark and Joplin now
Yeah.
and Barry. The only thing that I will say is Barry was neutered more
Yeah.
than I wanted him to be. And if that makes sense. Like, he's badass. He
Yeah.
has been in every season. And this one kind of gets his butt kicked most of the season.
Yeah, and even when he was doing things right, it just didn't feel the same.
I get maybe that's because he's kind of spiraling because he wasn't doing what he likes to do.
Yeah.
I did like the other military guy who's the FBI agent. I like
Yeah.
him. I like how inept the police department is in it with him.
Yeah.
And I love the story of what the bald guy and what's his name.
NoHo Hank?
Yeah, NoHo Hank and his love interest. That's
Yeah.
that's a fun part of the story, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the show, but it was so dark at times. And the final episode, I was like, wait a minute. Like, every season, there's been a final episode, and I've like it's wrapped. The other two seasons are wrapped up.
Yeah.
This last episode of Barry was like, I was almost like, is there going to be another season?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do here?
Yeah. I was disappointed that they've gone so far from the first season because I love the first season.
The whole idea of him being an actor was what I liked about
Yeah.
it. Wanting to be an actor and balancing being a hitman.
And it was a lot more like quirky, where
Yeah.
I didn't feel that in season 3 because it was so dark.
Yeah, the quirky was NoHo Hank and
Yeah.
that group, and his men, which is just silly.
Yeah.
But there's nothing quirky with Barry anymore.
Yeah.
And the whole, I don't want to spoil it for people. Yeah, we're going to spoil it a little bit. The whole setup, to the final episode and how
Yeah.
that the police, the detective's dad,
Yeah.
getting involved. I'm not saying it was anything bad. They didn't execute bad. It was good. They still did good writing. I did not enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
That part.
Yep.
Now, I did enjoy the season overall, but I don't think it's like. I mean, season 1 was like a 5.
Yeah.
To me, season 2 was like a 4.5. This one drops down to that borderline, just under 4. If
Yeah.
we could go 3.95, it's like that.
Yep. Totally agree.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I hope it goes somewhere a little more fun because the first season was fun.
Yeah.
Even though there was some murder.
I would be okay if they wrapped it up with season 4. Just if it keeps going down like this, I really don't want any more.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame that either. I just give me some kind of conclusion.
Yeah, some closure.
And make it a little more upbeat. Or if you're going to go dark,
Yeah.
make it the end.
And then Barry becomes a lumberjack.
Yeah, oh boy. Did we ever talk about that final season on here?
Oh, I don't know.
It was awful.
It was.
It was really bad. It was like a 2.75 for me.
Oh, it was probably lower for me. I was so mad when I watched it because I watched the whole show after the fact.
And there were still moments where Dexter was Dexter.
Yeah.
And there was things that, like, of course, we're talking about the extra season of Dexter that they just had this past year.
I never watched
Or last
that.
year. Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I finished at season 8 where he was the lumberjack and left his
Yeah, that
kid
was
with
the
serial killer.
original
Yeah.
final episode.
I didn't see the new.
The new season's awful.
Oh.
It's just there's
I
some.
have no appeal to watch it.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, if you didn't like the final episode, you're not going to like that season. There
Yeah.
were some cool things in it,
Yeah.
and there was cool Dexterish moments, but the overall story just kind of. And then how they bring LaGuardia, what's his name in LaGuardia?
Yeah, LaGuardia.
Yeah, LaGuardia into it, but
Yeah.
they really don't bring him into it. He didn't even get the satisfaction of knowing that he finally nabbed
Yeah.
Dexter or his buddy.
Yep.
It's just not great. It's not great. What else you got?
Let's see. I started the Umbrella Academy, but I've only gotten a couple episodes.
I hear
into it.
people are praising. I don't want to do it wrong. Evan or Ethan?
Elliot.
Elliot Page. I hear they're praising the way they handled the character.
They handled that very well.
Yeah.
It was pretty much just her. Hey, I'm not Vanya anymore. I want to go by Victor.
Yeah, and people were
Okay.
just like, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's something simplistic and beautiful about that,
Yeah.
too. So that's good.
Yeah. We watched The Accountant with Ben Affleck finally.
I've seen that. That's better than. It's better than I expected it to be.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun watching it. I mean, it's mindless action with John Bernthal.
Yeah, John Bernthal. Oh, man. Speaking of John Bernthal, I was watching. For whatever reason, I decided to start him over again. How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
I did not realize in the 3rd episode, John Bernthal's in it.
Really?
And he plays a. I'll have to bring him up for
Yeah.
you. It's he's got maybe 3 lines.
Yeah.
And he's Carlos, and he's just a clueless airhead dude, like the hot airhead dude.
Yeah.
And you won't even recognize. I was watching. I was like, oh my god, that's John Barenthal.
That's funny. I didn't even realize that, because I guess we watched it probably before Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
when it was new. So
Well, we went back and watched it after the fact. But
Oh, you
at
did?
that point, I didn't even realize it was him. So
yeah. Oh, here, I'm bringing this picture up real quick.
why
That's him in it. He's Carlos, and he's carrying a red Solo club. He's got
Yeah.
a stupid necklace, his shirt unbuttoned at the top, and really long hair.
Yep. Like
Yeah.
a surfer guy.
Oh yeah, totally is.
Yeah.
Totally is. In New York.
Yeah.
You know.
So, did you watch The Hustle?
Which
Adam
one?
Sandler?
Oh, he texted the group when I watched
Yeah.
that. That movie was fucking great.
It was incredible.
Made me feel good about myself.
Yeah. That's another one we might watch this weekend, because Madeline saw the preview for it and was like, I want to see it.
Hayden watched some of it as she passed through the room.
Yeah.
She's like, "What is this?" I said, "It's called The Hustle, and you gotta watch it." So she's like, "I don't know if she has or because she just watches things."
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good movie. Adam
was so
Sandler
good.
knocked it out of the park in
He
that
did.
movie.
And the supporting cast was all great, too.
Oh yeah, everybody.
And it was fun trying to pick out, like, is that a real basketball player or is that an actor?
Oh yeah, there's so many real basketball
Yeah.
players in it. So many great people. So many great coaches and personalities in the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was totally worth it.
My kids are going to hear Adam Sandler movie and expect something else, so when they watch it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, at some point they'll be ready for like Punch Drunk Love and
Yeah.
what's the one? My very Spanglish. I
Yeah.
love Spanglish.
Yeah,
Spanglish
those
one-
are both really good.
Yeah, and he just, Adam Sandler just, it's so odd his career path because he got famous for making classics like
Yeah.
Happy Madison or Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And then he even nailed it with like the rom-com and 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
And then he had a series of the shittiest funny movies. And then he signs a mega contract for Netflix and he continues to make shitty
Yeah.
funny movies.
With the gems sprinkled in there.
Yeah, and it's like he doesn't care how bad the movies are or whatever. He just makes them for him and his friends.
Yeah.
And then he does Uncut Gems, speaking
Yeah.
of. Then he does The Hustle. I mean,
Oh, you did the one with the murder mystery one with Jennifer Aniston.
that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad.
Considering what had come out before that, that was one of his better movies.
I'm glad you brought this up too because there's a trailer that Missy and I watched. Speaking of rom-coms, and Kaylin was like, "You guys want to see that?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, it looks cheesy to me," and she's right. It looks a little cheesy, but there's a new rom-com with George Clooney and
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. It's called. I can't remember what it is called, but
I got it here in my text because my daughter went to the movies the other day and texted me that she wanted to see it.
Which daughter?
Surprised me. Madeline.
what'd she go see?
Well, they went and saw
Minions?
Minions, yeah.
Okay. That's probably why Kaylin went and saw it too. So here's the thing about it. It does look like a rom-com.
Ticket to Paradise.
Ticket to Paradise, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of the movie is they're a divorced couple. They were only married 5 years, but they have a kid out of the deal. She's getting married. She has a chance to have a lucrative career, and she kind of in their minds, throwing it away to go live on an island, with this boy she met,
Yeah.
and just live in their native culture, wherever that is, like Indonesia or something like that. And so they decide to put away their feud in order to break up the marriage,
Yeah.
to show her the error in her way. Now, I'm a sucker for a well done rom com, and Kaylin said it looks cheesy, and Missy's like, "Well, I want to see it," and I said, "I want to see it too," and here's why: George Clooney is arguably one of the 5 biggest stars in the world. I mean, it's George Clooney, it's Brad Pitt, it's
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, and so and George Clooney probably more than any of them. I would say him, Brad Pitt, and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Probably just him and Brad Pitt more specifically. They're very choosy on their movies.
Yeah.
So if he's choosing to do a rom-com, I told Missy I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. It's going to be a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
It's a George Clooney movie, you
Yep.
know? And we know him and Julia Roberts have tremendous on-screen chemistry. I mean, Ocean's movies were
yeah.
fantastic. The first 2 are great.
Yeah.
The third one, still watchable.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited about it. And I told Missy, we'll go see it on a date night. I don't need the girls. We'll go see it.
Yeah. Well, our whole family goes to the movies together, so we'll probably all go see it.
Yeah, which it still would work too. I think
Yeah.
it'd be a fun family movie too. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was telling somebody recently too. Oh, it's my buddy Jordan. Hey, we were talking too about a family movie. I said there is a little bit of language in it, but I told him because he had never seen it, and we were talking about things, just good movies. I can't remember what brought it up. Oh, we were just talking about he had just got from Boston. He was eating, and he's where he ate some good food, and he was talking about some movie that he saw. And I said, "Man, I'll tell you this. Have you ever seen the movie Chef?" And he's like, "No." And I said, "You like Jon Favreau, though?" And he goes, "Oh, we love him." I go home this weekend and watch Chef. And you can let the whole family watch it.
Yeah.
As a dad, it's a great movie. As a fan of Jon Favreau, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
And as a guy that loves food, it's a great movie.
Yep.
And, again, not your typical family movie. Probably not even Ticket to Paradise is. But sometimes you got to have those movies.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden is finally getting to where those movies work for. Like, she's into them a little more. Like,
Yeah.
and she watches them on her own. She watches stuff and doesn't tell us, and we're like, well, that's pretty grown up. And
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
We go through the same thing with both the girls. Like, walk down Saturday night and Kaylee's down watching Poltergeist. I'm like,
Now you've said she likes scary
She
stuff.
does like- yeah.
But that one I can't believe she would watch by herself.
she wasn't by herself. She had older cousin down there. I don't know who all was down
That's
there.
good,
People
'cause-
are coming and going.
Because I don't know that I can watch that first one by myself in it still.
Well, they're like, this is kind of cheesy.
Well, they need to be quiet.
Yeah.
That movie's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
And you got to let them read all the real stuff that happened
Oh,
around
yeah.
that movie and then say, now watch it.
Yeah.
You jerks.
Yep. No, I want to show her the Evil Dead movies. I think she'll get a kick out of what they are.
Yeah, especially the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I was watching something recently with I was watching, for whatever reason my Facebook page has been littered with Xena memes lately. Especially like where superheroes careers begin, and it was when Carl Urban was on there,
Yeah.
and then the guy that plays the Homelander was also started on there.
Anthony Starr.
Yeah, Anthony Starr, and then a Bruce Campbell one popped up when he was still slimmer and sexier, and
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of his. I guess because I clicked it, I've been seeing a lot of his memes from Xena pop up lately.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I've been watching a Bruce Campbell movie, which is always a good feeling.
It's always a good.
It might be going back to Doctor Strange again. Not that we need to beat a dead horse, but the things I love about it is still the Sam Raimi stuff. But I don't know. I don't know that I really like the story arc of Wanda, the execution of it.
Yeah.
I think that was my essential. Rewatching it, I was like, I don't know that I'm happy with Wanda's descent into craziness and
Well, it was just right there at the beginning. It's not like
so sudden.
It's not like she was sitting there with them trying to help, and then all of a sudden she turned. It was just like, oh, you found me out.
And I don't think at the end of WandaVision they gave us a good enough sense in that final scene that
No.
she was going to be that far. Because she murders a lot of people.
She does.
Yeah, there's no, like we talked about after we saw it, there's no redemption
No.
for her. Can't be had. You can bring in another Wanda or whatever it is, but yeah.
I saw an interesting theory, though, that Kang jumps in and pulls her out before she gets crushed.
Could be.
And he tries to use the chaos magic to bring everything back together, and it creates the, what do they call their time?
Incursion?
Yeah, it
An
causes a
incursion.
giant incursion in Secret Wars.
Yeah, and so that, again, there's... My only problem with that is, like we talk about in wrestling, that's some good armchair booking,
Yeah.
like at-home booking. And it seems like it would make sense, but there's so much storylines to pick from and so much things that... Here we go. Jonathan Hickman's story I don't necessarily think would make for good, critically well-received things among your average fan.
Yeah, that would be hard to pull off with just so many years of comic book history pulled in. And
There's a
so
lot of-
many different
yeah.
variations of characters.
There's a lot of better stories that will work for film better than anything Hickman wrote.
Yeah.
His thing would work for a 10-part episode on HBO Max or
Yeah.
Netflix or Disney Plus or something. But he gets it's too deep sometimes.
Yeah.
I even think he's too deep. Like I said, everybody raved and ranted over X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and reread it actually not too long ago, like on the app.
yeah.
It's okay. I like the X-Men back, but they still lost what makes me like the X-Men.
Yeah. There was a good payoff for all of that. because
Yeah.
he's off it now in his swan song.
I need to read I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah.
But I want the X-Men to be I like it when the X-Men were grounded outside of New York.
Yeah.
And their problems were in cities, and there was things like that. There
Yeah.
I miss that.
And they're going back to that a little bit with the core X-Men title.
Yeah.
But they still have all the Krakoa politics and everything.
Yeah, see, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was overly Hickmanized on everything. But my thing is Hickman with no matter what style of story he tells, and don't get me wrong, Hickman's an unbelievably great writer.
Yeah.
And there's been some stuff of his I've read, and I just loved it. But everything he writes it's almost like he comes up with a skeleton of a story, and then he can just plug characters, and it doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
That didn't have to be X-Men. It could have been the Avengers,
Yeah.
or it could have been his something from Global Frequency, or not Global Frequency, but his stuff over an Image that he did. He could just grab. I don't remember the name of that, but
No, I was thinking Black Science, but that's Remember. He did Manhattan Project.
Manhattan Projects. And I mean, you can almost just because of the way he does with his little extra narratives on this extra and his quirky breakdowns of timelines.
Yeah.
He could just force any characters into it and make it work.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm going to make a comparison. And it's one for the kids. The kids will get this. At least they'll know the comparison. To me, he's a lot like Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is unbelievably talented because she's a musician and a songwriter. Mm-hmm. But for some people that come and tell me she's a great singer, I go, really?
Yeah.
Is she a great singer? Because all she does is whisper. I've
Yeah.
never heard her sing. Like she doesn't belt out a note. I don't know that she can harmonize well. And I think that for me, Hickman's the same way. I know he's a great writer. I know his concepts are amazing. But when you use the same skeleton and vehicle for every single story you tell, I don't know how. For me, that's what holds him back from being the Mark Miller, the Frank Miller, the Warren Ellises, because they tell a lot of different type of stories in a lot of different ways. And a Hickman story can be spotted from a mile away.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And I like how I tied it into Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I mean, if my daughter can hear me through this vent, she may come punch me.
Yeah.
She loves Billie Eilish. So.
Now you're going to have to hashtag it when you post this and get all the young people listening to us.
Hickman is my Billie Eilish. Jonathan Hickman is my Billie Eilish. You know what? I would even bring him on. He has an open invitation. Come on, and I will fanboy out. So please, Jonathan Hickman, don't think that I think less of you. I think you're brilliant. I just think that I would love to see you straight get out of your lane and do something different.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, what else you got?
All right. I haven't seen the last episode, but The Boys has been unreal this year.
This past episode was pretty great. The plot twist was good. I'm trying to think if what I can and can't talk about. I won't talk about it, but Herogasms are obviously the one that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
And Herogasm was awesome.
It was.
Here's my thing with this season. It's ungodly entertaining, and this isn't a criticism, but it's just an observation. They really wanted to go for shock this season, and that's what every episode has been.
Yeah. I was listening to Fat Man Beyond, and Mark Bernardin brought up a really good point that the best parts of Herogasm weren't even the orgy.
100%.
And
there was some good storytelling in that between Starlight and Huey.
Yeah.
There was some good stuff.
And then the fight with Soldier Boy and Butcher and
which was
Homelander.
a great fight.
It was. But if they wouldn't have played up the orgy stuff so much ahead of time, that shock factor would have really hit.
Yeah. I get why they did it, though. You might as well just do it and get it out of the way before people start bitching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, hey, the comic this is based on is pretty raunchy. The only spoiler I'll give you for the next episode, and this is not a big spoiler, but it's a scene you're going to love, is when they're around the Frenchman, and he goes, oh, what I would have not give. Or no, he goes, one of the great disappointments in my entire life will have not seen is of having not been able to see Herogasm. Because they keep saying, oh, Frenchie's going to be so mad. Yeah. So that was pretty funny.
I think in the first episode, the sneeze is probably more shocking than...
Oh, yeah. It's still... The sneeze was... Yeah, I think that's still the big... I think that's been the... Well... some of the squid stuff that you're going to get in this next episode is pretty straightforward. One of the funny things, what's the girl that plays Starlight? What's her name?
Something Moriarty.
Yeah.
Erin Moriarty.
Yeah, something. She's Sherlock's arch nemesis.
Yes.
She did an interview and she was talking about how they were. She goes, I was so curious because there was so much sex toys, so we weren't. She goes, don't take us the wrong way, we weren't playing with the dildos, but she goes, we were messing around with the dildos. I was like, all right, I feel like I need some hand sanitizer. And she goes, I went over to squirt hand, and everybody told me no. And it's because we put real lube on the tables for the because they had to be set up and look accurate. So I squirted lube on my hands, and I was like, oh, now I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Which is funny. The Boys is not disappointed.
No.
Not one season's disappointed.
No.
Yeah. And they did some really good stuff. Butcher, there's a possibility of going too far with Butcher, too determined, too narrowly focused, too mean. They gave a lot of layers to him this year. In this last episode, you'll really, when you watch it, they do a good job of layering why Butcher's Butcher. But I will say this: that's fun. It's fun. I'm glad you brought that up. I watched this show on Paramount called Joe Pickett. It's a pretty good show. We watch the Boys, obviously, and then me and Missy watched a movie on Shudder called The Call, which was the guy that plays Jigsaw in the Saw movies.
Okay.
And a couple of not famous people, but people you would recognize a little bit. So it's all three of those things featured a flashback inside the head of another person, or a flashback scene where a dad is beating up on his oldest son. And I'm telling you this, Jay, and Missy even said it when she was like, holy fuck, how many shows have we watched where this has been a thing? And it's almost the same looking room, coming in with the belt the exact same way. And I'm like, did everybody just sit down and write all these together?
Yeah.
I even looked at the credits to see if it was the same writers, and it wasn't. I was like, what are the odds?
It's like there's the meme going around of the Disney reusing their animation shot for shot from like Winnie the Pooh to something else.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like that.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was very weird. You also just brought up Fat Man Beyond.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the big news that will be tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
We're going to get a trailer and a new poster.
Yep.
For Clerks 3. And then we'll get the announcement, I think, Friday, when tickets will go on sale, because he's going to take it on tour just like he did Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get it and go see it.
Yeah.
I'll probably just buy 4 tickets.
Okay.
So, and then we'll just figure it out.
Okay.
Because I have to go see it. I'm super excited. He's done his typical Kevin Smith. When the internet went out in my house last week, and I made my attempt at humor, like I was going to try one of these little discs in this disc machine, I watched Mallrats again.
Yeah.
I don't care, speaking of, like I said, put a pin in dick and fart jokes at the beginning in our maturity level.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith humor will never not be funny to me, and it always makes me feel like I'm in college in the best way possible.
Yep.
And just the hype for Clerks 3, that he's done a great job on his own social media, has got me super excited for it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he does with it, since it's like come full circle and it's them making the movie in the quick stop.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good stuff in there.
A lot of meta jokes.
Yeah. He's bringing back a lot of people from all of his movies.
Well, I mean, he has to in Clerks. I mean, Clerks is the genesis of all of it, and it's everybody got their break from that. And then, then he got good enough to bring in celebrities. The only big thing is, are we going to get Ben Affleck or Matt Damon or some combination of the two, or Jason Lee, because he's he's a Leonardo or whatever, the assholes of the town. So yeah, I can't wait to see, dude. I mean, I'm just excited about the trailer.
Oh, I am too.
I'm just excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he was going to do the tour, so I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's the only way he does movies, he said. He's the only way he'll do them ever again.
Well, with Reboot, they did put it in the theaters, but I think it was limited.
Yeah, and
And then it was after he came to town.
Yeah, he gets more money from, and it's then he leaves it, not leaves it behind, but then it's the
Yeah.
right theaters like the Tivoli,
Yeah.
and things like that. So are in Alamo Draft Houses, ones that are still around. It'll
Yeah.
be in those kind, but he will not work with distribution companies. He said anymore. So
I can't blame him.
and
with what
he
gone
said I
through.
make more money this way.
Yeah.
So well, you got anything else?
No, that's it.
I don't know if I have anything else.
What do you got? I'll tell you this. I think I'm going to do an episode with Shane Presley on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a big thing coming up. I mentioned to you his 1,000th episode, which is asinine, just
Yeah.
asinine in a good way, Shane. So I think I'm going to do an episode with him Thursday if he's free, and I'm just going to leave that to release it next week because I get in a car Saturday night or Saturday morning, I should say, at 3 a.m., and I'm driving straight through to Denver.
Yeah.
And I will be in Denver from Saturday to the next Saturday. The good news is I'm driving, so Denver beer will be brought back.
Oh, that's good.
Whatever I can fit in the car is going to get brought back.
You're going to bring a trailer for it?
Yeah, well, we're taking Missy's car too. Kaylin's worried that we won't be able to fit everything in. I'm like, how much fucking stuff do we need to take to Denver?
Yeah.
We're going to be there watching soccer. Actually, we are going to go see the Rapids on Wednesday night, the MLS game.
Yeah.
And we're going to go see the Rockies on Friday night.
Awesome.
We were actually going to go see the Rockies because they were playing the Padres on Wednesday night, but Hayden's, as a group, they're going to go see the Rapids, and
Yeah.
I figured we just might as well go to that, and then we still get my buddy John Shannon's out there. We're all going to, I think, all
Yeah.
going to go see the Rockies on that Friday. And John, and John, bless his soul, he's like, he wants to get together and have a barbecue. I'm like, dude, I would love to. We got soccer games every day.
Yeah.
Like the Tuesday night is like a parent social, so it's like, it's gonna be hard. It's
Yeah.
gonna be hard. That said, I will find time to drink. So
Of course.
yeah. So I don't know if we got anything else. I think that's the end of our episode. Do you have anything else? Because if you don't,
Bye.
all right, we're gonna play the music.